guys, welcome to today's video. I'm Becca and today we're going to talk about what you need in order to start elimination communication or EC. Thanks guys so much for joining us today on today's video, and thanks for joining me on my channel. If you're new here, definitely subscribe and hopefully you can see more videos and more content like this. If you like this sort of thing, give it a thumbs up for me and leave some comments down below. I'd love to hear your questions or your experience if you're doing something similar. I'd love to know what you're thinking when you're watching this material. I kind of broke this video up into categories so we can easily go through the material, and it's basically what material you need to start elimination communication. In order to start elimination communication, I am not covering that topic in this video, but instead the supplies you need and sectioning them off into the types of materials that you're going to need. For those of you who don't know, elimination communication is just a style of pottying. It is not potty training, but can be an alternative to potty training. And it's just following your baby's cues of when they need to potty, just as you would if they need to eat or they're sleepy or tired and trying to get them ready for bed. It's just a different way of looking at pottying and looking at your child's needs in order to help them out, if that makes sense. This is Ari, our newest EC baby, who's actually doing terrific. We started ECing her actually earlier than I did my first daughter. I started my first daughter when she was about 4 or 5 months old. So we started Ari at 1 month old, and so far I found it to be easier than starting later. So I would highly recommend starting earlier. However, I was a first time mom and it was really stressful and just a lot going on. So it was easier for me at the time to do it the way I did. But this round, I know a little bit more about what I'm doing as far as parenting, and she doesn't like pooping in her diapers, so we definitely just were able to latch onto that discomfort she already had. That's great. I don't know the last time I cleaned a poopy diaper, to be totally honest. But yeah, so let's get started guys and talk about the materials and kind of what I would say you need to start EC. So first thing I'm going to talk about is actually educational materials. So when we're talking about elimination communication, it is not an easy trek if you're starting that trek. It can be easily learned and you kind of get the hang of it as you get started. It looks pretty intimidating to start with, and that's why I'm kind of making these videos to kind of help you out and to really tell you that it's not that scary. There's just a steep learning curve for some people. And it's challenging, but so is potty training. I'm glad you're embarking on this journey with your child. It's a more natural route for sure, but in order to make sure you're prepared and look for information along the way, I would suggest looking at Andrea Olson's course. She has a video course and book that you can buy, and those are available on Amazon. I'll leave the links down below so you guys can check her channel out as well as her book on Amazon. Also, like the book that I got from the library, you can find it on eBay for under $5 as well, and that's the Diaper-Free Baby. And so that looks like this, and that's a really valuable book as well if you're looking for another EC book. The last educational material I would say is actually for your baby. There's a board book out there called The Tiny Potty, and that's also by Andrea Olson, and that book is just an effective way to show your baby through imitation. And so it shows a little baby and how they potty, and so it shows the actual and illustrates and talks about what EC is in babies' eyes. And so there's a lot of potty training books out there. However, this one is geared towards EC babies, or elimination communication process for babies, and it's very cute. It actually shows this little bear going potty with the baby and how the baby is pottying her baby. Or her teddy bear. It says 6 months and up, but you can use it for your baby and start reading to your baby earlier if you would like. But that's perfect educational material that I would add to your library. With that note, we actually have a little potty chair in our bathroom, and next to it we have a cute little basket with a collection of books that are easily wiped off, so perfect for the bathroom, and that's one that we have included in our stash. The second section of materials I would cover is observation materials. So with EC, if you've done some research already, you know there's an observation period which you can do anytime, and you might do it at repetitive times throughout your journey of pottying. just because there's signs and there's signs before they need to go potty can change depending on their development. Fleece blankets are key, so if you have a lot of those, keep them around. You can layer them in their play space, or even on their bed if you're doing nighttime EC, which is actually something I did not do. I did not do nighttime EC, but you can do that, and you just layer lots of fleece blankets or waterproof pads or both. For actual pottying, so the tiny potty from IKEA is a really great potty, especially for on the go, or the Baby Bjorn is very similar. I would note IKEA has two different potties. One's a little bit cheaper. The second one has a removable insert, and I would recommend that one for car use because you can use the little tiny insert for the car, which looks like a top hat, or you can use both of those in your car as well. But for the house, I would definitely recommend two. The full base that doesn't have a removable insert. My daughter's right here, my baby, Ari. I would recommend not just that piece because it's not removable. It's a little harder to clean in, say, a vanity sink. If you're going more a Montessori route, I would invest in the Summer Infant. They have a beautiful tiny potty with a little flush and everything, so it just looks exactly like your potty. And so in Montessori eyes, they look at the imitation and how everything's child-sized, and so that potty looks just like yours, and so your child will definitely appreciate that if you're going that route. The other thing, when you're starting out pottying and EC, I would actually recommend just using the sink. That'll allow you to see your baby's expressions in the mirror, and those signs that they're going to give out as they're peeing or having a bowel movement. You can actually see what's happening. You can see their expressions. They can see you, and they see that you're pleased by their actions and knowing this is the proper place or the appropriate place to go potty. So a sink is great, and it's easy to clean. Just keep a disinfectant on the counter as we did, and you can easily just clean out that sink. I love the Method brand anti-bac cleaners. And then if you're on the go, any container works. If you have Tupperware that you think you'll just clean out, you can clean that Tupperware after your baby has gone potty and just have that designated container, and you can just mark it as the potty with Sharpie so no one thinks of it otherwise. So that's definitely something you can use. Or just empty butter container. You can keep an empty butter container in your car. It works as well. Anything that you can kind of hold your baby over and give those cues in order to poop or pee when they need to. The fourth thing that I want to know is clothing. So this is clothing for both you and baby. As the caregiver, I would note you might need a couple extra shirts. Just have them handy around. You might be peed on. It's totally fine and acceptable. In between diapering or pottying, you're not actually going to keep your baby diaper free. Unless you're home all day. If you want to do that, you can. However, when you're going to the grocery store or you're going to a friend's house, you're going to probably want to put a diaper on. Not everyone's going to be on board with your pottying methods. It's just not what the norm is these days. So you're going to want to put a diaper on, and we like to refer to it as a backup, and I do actually verbalize that to my kids just to let them know I'm putting a diaper on you. I can still take you potty if you just indicate so, and this is a backup. So it's not meant to be a full-time toilet. It is your backup. So a cloth diaper is definitely preferred because your baby can sense that they're wet quicker. Disposable diapers are designed to be able to not tell if they're wet, and so your baby won't be able to tell. It's kind of the strange thing. You would think you don't want your baby to be uncomfortable, but with EC you do. If they're uncomfortable, they're going to recognize easier that they have to pee and want to not pee on their diaper. So that's going to help you in the long run for EC. You don't want your baby to be too comfortable in a diaper, because the point of this is not to pee in your diaper, to eventually just know that you want to go somewhere else other than your diaper and indicate to mom and dad that you need to go. The other thing I would say is a wet bag. So I just use one of the cloth diaper wet bags. My toddler has gotten to the point where we go in public and we go places, and she's good. We're good at catches for most of the time. We have a few misses, which is a verbiage for an accident. What you call an accident, we like to be positive and we call them a miss, meaning I didn't communicate well, she didn't communicate, we didn't connect and able to get to the potty when she needed to. In those instances, I have a wet bag with clean pants in there, and I can throw the wet pants in there. Overall, the last thing I would recommend is time and patience. So time meaning you need time to actually focus on your baby, focus on your child, and learn those signs and get them to the potty when appropriate. And then patience. So you're not going to catch every time. Anytime your child has some new development in growth, they may have a setback and have what's called a potty pause. And that just means your baby is just giving out new signs of communication, and you might not understand what those new signs are and therefore not get them to the potty. So don't be discouraged. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your child. Thanks guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye guys. Say bye.